This was like, I think 2 summers ago. It was accepted by the USPTO, meaning that they accepted my arguments and allowed a trademark to actually register based on an AI, because they had an AI app that would talk for kids, specifically for kids, which is what I wanted. So he can start using it. But they were charging, at first it was free, and then they went up to $29 per month. What? $29 per month for this app? And I was like, I think we can make this app. Obviously, I took out Cursor. It was the second app, so we're a little faster than the first one, and we got it up. And it's the same app.
Welcome back. Today, I have Dr. Don Simmons with us. He's an AI lawyer and expert. Do you know why I brought him on? Because I'm afraid of the legal implications of all the shit that I do. So it was good to be able to bring on an actual attorney. So Don is a trademark attorney with over 10 years of experience specializing in the field of intellectual property law and recently artificial intelligence. His work focuses on helping businesses navigate the complex legal landscapes of IP and AI, from protecting and using AI-generated innovations to addressing trademark challenges in this rapidly evolving field. What sets him apart is his ability to break down technical and legal concepts into engaging, actionable insights for non-legal audiences. He has his own AI legal startup, which is generating revenue and rave reviews. And he owns one of the oldest trademark firms in the UK. He's worked with startups, industry giants, and creative professionals to safeguard their intellectual property in the age of AI, and won awards for writing and has been featured in several periodicals. The reason I wanted to bring Don on here, obviously, is because AI is our heartblood, and law is a complex beast. So it's always nice to be able to make sure that I'm in the good, at the very least. Like, I don't want to be fucked over if I do something wrong. So yeah, let's talk to a lawyer, see where we're going. Without further ado, here's Dr.
Take it away. Hi, my name is Don Simmons. I have a Doctor of Laws from McGill. Also have an undergraduate degree in political science. I actually have 2 law degrees, one in common law, one civil law. I practice trademark law in the EU and the UK. And I also have my own law firm called TMOA, one of the oldest in the UK. I also have a startup called Brawn, which focuses on providing legal AI,
especially the oldest in UK.
Yeah, surprised me when I found out.
It happens. You just saw all anything.
Yeah, I just like 140 years next year. It's like, wow, one of the oldest trademark law firms, not just general, but trade, but still.
How did you fall into that?
Oh, actually, it's in line with my whole venture into AI. So I guess this is a good story right now to tell. I obviously was doing trademark law for about 10 years and doing all kinds of things, but primarily I was doing what we call office action response drafting, meaning that if you apply for a trademark, they sometimes refuse it and say, well, it's because it's confusing with one that's already registered. And then what you're supposed to do is draft arguments, legal arguments, supporting your application, saying, hey, I should be allowed it. This is why. So I was drafting a lot of those. I was hired by another firm to do it, doing it for my own clients. And it takes time because these are legal arguments. So it'll take you a day and a half, maybe a day if you have a template that you work from. I was getting a lot of them, but because it took so much time and I had my son with me, I was realizing that, I would like to spend my time more wisely with my son. And I was trying to figure out ways to speed it up, and nothing was working. Thing is, during that time, I think I can't remember when AI was released, but in November, the September, just before it was released, OpenAI with ChatGPT, I had signed up to OpenAI just on the whim because they were looking for people to beta test things. So I signed up. They said they accepted me, and then I didn't think anything about it until November comes around, and then everyone's screaming AI. Luckily for me, I had access, so I could play around with it easily. And so I learned then, how to use it and blah, blah, blah. I'd already taken a mini coding course, so I know some basics. And then I was like, hey, I think this could be the thing that helps me create
So
this
we are the face
automation.
of your office.
And what happened was I tried it out, and of course, when I used ChatGPT, it hallucinated, meaning it made up case files, fake case files. I don't know if you've heard recently, but the UK is really pissed off because apparently more and more attorneys are using these fake files. So, fake case law. So anyway, I figured out a way to make it so the AI only referenced our own database of case law that I made and created and filled out. Once I got that set, I started creating an automation that mimicked what I would draft when I sent in my arguments. And it took a while, about 3 months off and on of trial and error. And then finally got a version I liked. I used it for me. This was like, I think 2 summers ago, we used it for me just to see if it was working, if it would be accepted. It was accepted by the USPTO, meaning that they accepted my arguments and allowed a trademark to actually register based on an AI drafted arguments. Obviously, I had my final input, but the AI drafted 90%, not more. So once that happened, I was like, I think I'm onto something. Let's give it more. Let's try more. And then I was also doing it with the firm that hired me, just to make sure it would work on theirs, and it worked well. And then then I thought, okay, I think this is the right time to sort of develop it into an actual business, and started speaking to somebody on one of those websites where you're looking for people to do work for you. And one guy responded. Here's a strange little twist. I don't know what this means. The first guy who responded was a trademark attorney in the UK, which you would think was the perfect person to partner with. They're in the field. They have access to certain people. They want to do this sort of thing. I thought, all right, this was perfect. I told him about the project. We talked, and then for some reason he disappeared. I never heard from him again. Reasons I know, but thank God he did, because the second person that showed up was an accountant. His name was Mark Moore, and I responded to him in a very aggressive way. I said, "What does an accountant have to do with AI and law? Like, what can you bring to the table?" And he obviously brushed it off. He said, "I've been in the field of raising capital and startups for a long time, so I know what you need. I could be a good mentor." So I signed him on. I said, "Fine, here's my idea. Maybe you can help me find something." And lo and behold, this is the strangest twist of fate. His friend, a very old friend, happened to have a law firm, a trademark law firm that was going into administration. And this was like the oldest trademark law firm. And I was like surprised to hear this. And I was like, well, are they willing to sell? And he said, yes, because they're going into admin. They want to sell the assets. So we said, fine. The reason I wanted the law firm was because the AI would be perfect to be used to sort of market it, say, hey, we are working with one of these law firms. And that's kind of why I look for this law firm. And so the Braun AI was kind of birthed out of this need to automate things, but the AI also led me to a law firm I ended up owning. So now I have this law firm, and I have this project. This is Braun AI, which is now helping with the law firm. There you go.
It's just amazing how you've gone from one spot to another.
It was like, a year, I think, that this whole thing changed. Really crazy. So,
well, even what I'm doing, I believe been at this for 4 months now.
Okay.
And it's insane how fast I've scaled.
Yes, I'm trying to keep up. I mean, we're doing well. We have clients using the system, and we're making money, and we're just trying to scale up.
You basically created an MCP before MCP.
I guess.
model context protocol.
I guess. I mean, obviously it was so early in the. I just, had to think on my feet and make what I could at the time. And yes, MCPs are all the rage right now. I'm using N8N now. Was before I wasn't. I was using Make.com only, but N8N really blew my mind and the way it works with agents. So I was doing a lot of things well before these things were, being used.
Let's actually get into the questions now. I have a few here.
Basically, I'm
generating
generating
AI content
across the board.
What are the
biggest mistakes I could do
while implementing AI?
Content. Is that right?
Generating AI content,
also generating like themes, websites.
I'm gonna have a whole asset class as well.
So visuals, a lot of visuals, and text content as well. I see. And you're using different platforms to create this stuff. Okay, I see. So that I'm in the same boat, kind of. Okay.
Yep.
Me and my son were using an app on iTunes, the App Store, and it was a trivia app. The thing is with these trivia apps is that they're free, but then they give you all these commercials all the way through, right? And so you're basically tapping and not actually using it. So we use Cursor AI to create our own trivia program. And now we use it for free and never have, ads or anything. And I'm happy to be using it that way now. So there are a lot of people creating things with these AIs, websites, apps, there's nothing wrong with doing it that way. And the reason I'm saying it's still a gray area is because they're still going through the course as to what are you allowed to use as a source. Let's say you're using ChatGPT to get to create the content. Now it's not completely your fault that maybe ChatGPT pulled their, trained their data on, say, New York Times. That's not your fault. Like you're just using it as it comes. However, let's say you got an image that you found online and then you put it into the AI and said, make something like this, but change it here. Then it comes down to how much have you changed it? Because you could do that yourself, because you could get an image, draw it, and make small changes and say, this is mine, and move on from there. You're allowed to do that, but the question is, how much did you change it? So yeah, I wish I could give you like a black and white. I would love it myself.
Yeah.
But it's not possible. It's just how much have you changed the source material and what source material, knowing that right now a lot of them are going through the courts and it's really up in the air. They don't know who's going to pay at the end of the day.
Yeah.
When music stops.
It came down to so the way I'm seeing AI is there's no way for us to the biggest what am I trying to say? The biggest caveat that I seem to find when I'm talking to people about it is like well, it's using other people's content because everything you learned is the exact same way everything I learned through repetition, through mistakes, through like growing up, not an exact replica, but a mock-up, like a parody or whatever. That should be classified as the users at that point. But that's just how I see it.
Well, I mean, again, it comes down to how much you have changed it, or is it a parody? Meaning, yeah, it's a parody. There qualifies as fair use, or you can use it because you're critiquing it or making fun of it. I would not worry about that at this stage. I think it's more important to be creative, get your stuff out there. It is a gray area. So take advantage of that grayness right now until the courts are clearly and say, hey, do this, don't do that. So take advantage of it, like really push to get your ideas out there. But obviously do not clearly, like if you know this image belongs to somebody else and then you put it on your, that's clearly a violation. You know that it is. And you're not parodying it and you're not doing all that. So that's the only thing I would say not to do.
Point.
When it comes to, so I get the reverb.
I just need to take that off. I get the reverb.
when it comes to the US or the UK,
when it comes to the US or the UK
AI laws,
AI
Canada
laws.
hasn't started talking
Canada
about
hasn't
it, so we
started
don't
talking
really
about
know
it, so
what
we
we're
don't
getting
really know what
into.
we're getting into.
Could you describe
Could you
kind of
describe kind of
what laws are starting
laws
to
are starting to form
in the UK government, for example, around AI that we should be aware of?
All right, so I got some case law, at least around, this is around patents. And I'm not even sure of how much this is of value, but there's an artificial neural networks, and this falls under patent. This network would actually pick what or recommend music to you, based on AI, artificial neural networks. And in the past, something like this may not be patentable, but they're thinking in the UK that it may open doors to patentability of AI systems in the UK. That I like to some degree. Why is because I have a system myself that, should be, hopefully is patentable. Problem with that is that patents have to be public. And once it becomes public, somebody else can do it themselves. And it's hard for somebody we're not selling a product, we're selling a service. So it's hard for me to know if somebody's violating my patent. So the thing I recommend is that for people who have systems, AI systems that they've created themselves, best thing to do is not actually seek a patent, but actually seek what we call trade secret, which is don't let anyone see it without them signing a paper, so that it remains, the kernel's secret recipe for as long as possible. That's the way. And Canada will likely, depending on how the the UK and the US develop in terms of AI, will likely look to these courts and go, okay, we'll consider this case and see how we decide on that.
That kind of goes into my other thought. What are your takes on regulating AI?
Oh, you mean like preventing it from
just how the governments are
trying to
constrain them. I personally don't think,
but I know this.
It's like I think Europe regarding deep fakes is a thing they're definitely wanting to regulate strongly.
Yeah.
But AI is essentially like a brain. They don't even know a lot of the things that are happening under the hood and how to truly stop it from doing certain things. So they're asking for things that I'm pretty sure you can't completely put walls around and say, okay, it can only do this. I don't think that's really possible. But I think with the training data, you might be able to limit what the data is, the input data is, so that might prevent it from going in certain directions because it just doesn't have the information. So
I'm more concerned that there's going to be people who just have private networks that build their own models.
Oh yeah, they already do. I mean, truly. I'm downloading these models and using them on my. And a lot of these models are unlimited. Like they do not have any gates or walls on where they can go, and that's the way it is now. But
it's explaining that to the regular people that really is hard because they're very much that's AI to them. AI to the rest of us is like brand new intelligence.
And the thing is, if somebody's really is going to be quote unquote bad actor, they can find out that information. They don't need AI to get it. That's everywhere.
I honestly think we're going to come into an
super villains. Yeah. And why do you say that? Where would be the
we have people across the country and actually across the globe building their own Iron Man suits. Now they have Jarvis.
Oh yeah.
Now they have Jarvis.
Yes, Jarvis definitely is here. There's no question that it's just going to be bigger and bigger. And yes, I agree. There's a Jarvis here.
I can see a lot of people standing up and building their own.
And and we kind of have our own strength. So the Braun Limited, we don't only have this automation and drafting. We're actually also working internally on 2 other projects. One of it, which is called Elsa Braun. She's an AI paralegal that we use in-house for our own firm on purpose because we want to beta test. But she's like Jarvis, like the things she can do, the way she responds. Yeah, we got our own little Jarvis in-house, and I'm expanding her, getting her to do things, calendar, dates, put things into files, get information on the internet, notify us regularly, like all these things she's now doing. So yeah, Jarvis is definitely going to be, if not already here, will be. And the thing is, you can make it so everyone has their own Jarvis, which is, I think would be
the one thing I'm advocating for is private AIs. Like everybody
held AI that you can,
everything runs local. No need for data server.
I think that's what they're working on. That
I can't wait for
automating my life would be
great.
I'm sort of in the weeds right now trying to get a lot of business stuff automated, but yeah, personal stuff like, I have so many photos. It would be nice to not have to look through all of them, put them, classify them, and just have the AI go, oh yeah, this goes here. That just, it would help. Or paying bills.
Yep.
Like I sort of always had to pay these bills, and I'm paying them, but like, yeah, you could do them out. You can automate that to some degree, but I think they're Visa and MasterCard, maybe Visa, is looking into AI agents that can pay for you on your behalf. And that might be a thing. So they would go to the store, look for the product, actually pay, and then get it download or whatever, get it to you, and you would just wait.
Nobody's gonna know.
Nobody's gonna know what's gonna hit them in the next few years.
I think the internet was big, but this is, I think, way bigger. In that it's so active, proactive. There are things could be done, moved. The heating could be on, off, but all these things that it's almost no limit on what you could think this thing can do, and it's really your brain is kind of the limit on how far this can go.
Even when it comes to just computer stuff,
instead of this needs to come from here to go there. It saved me a lot of time just between one AI to the next.
Yes, I would love that myself, going from one platform to the next for the same reason. I see a future where the iOS, the OS, the traditional OS that we have is gone, and it's actually an AI that is the OS. And in fact, it would be creating things on all the time, meaning that it's not a static OS like we have, which updated the AI is the OS, and it would create the structure, how you interact, and then automatically updated on things that you ask for, or it finds information that we can add this to our OS, and basically a living OS. And the beauty of that is that the idea of viruses are it's gone, because there's no standard system anymore that all the viruses affect. It's like, no, I have my own AI OS that automatically changes and adds things whenever I need it. So that's kind of where I see it going.
I hope it gets there. I just hope the big guys aren't gonna keep it from us.
Well, I'm sure somebody's probably working on it now. I mean, it shouldn't be too hard, I guess. I don't know. I know that, I've seen somebody build an AI that creates one of those old games. I can't remember what it was, but it was creating it on the fly. Like it was live while you were playing it. I was like, wow, you can do that with it. You can actually have a game. It was not Tomb Raider. It was some classic game. Doom. Yes, it was like a live Doom. It was like, okay, yes, that's quite amazing.
Just impressed at how much tech we're about to see. There is two people in the US that are creating apparently to have a personalized model on it.
Yeah,
but I haven't heard from them.
Well, I don't know if it's this case specifically. There's a case involving the ex-Apple podcast pod maker. I don't know why I'm blanking on his name now, but he worked with Steve Jobs regularly to come up with I can't remember, it's Johnny Ives. Yes.
Yeah.
Johnny Ives working with OpenAI to create their own portable AI and they got a little mess because of the name of the actual product, because there was another firm creating something similar. But I think everyone knows that this is kind of the direction of personal AI, that does everything and has access to everything and is on you. That's going to be the next thing. And I guess it's an iOS. The thing about, and then this is sort of like a tangent, but the thing about programming in the past is that we were forced to learn the language of the machine, right? That's how they. But we already had our programming language. It was language. It was English. Or whatever language you spoke. That's how we program things. Now we're programming in our own language. This opens so many doors that, we can speak to it and tell it what to do. That's truly, next level.
I was not a coder, but you understand the concepts, and you can run with.
It wasn't that I didn't I knew what I wanted. I call it the Goldie moment. All right. So, drum and bass, Goldie, I don't know if you know him very well.
Yeah.
He, back in the 90s, came out with an album called Timeless. However, he did not have a musical background. He did not know how to play any instruments. He needed people who knew how to program, knew how to do all these things to get his ideas out. And he had wicked ideas. Clearly, his album was amazing. But he needed an interpreter to get those things. And I feel the same way with this. It's like I had these ideas, and the AI is kind of that interpreter that I needed to get my ideas out that I couldn't do before. I can program in my normal language now. I don't need to learn code on a level that was like, wow, no.
I did have a few people comment.
I actually learn code now, and I'm like,
still learn the base. Because it's going to teach you so much.
Yeah. Jason is the place to be. That thing blew my mind, opened so many doors with that.
So I'm just going to change our direction and showcase my application. And we could go through why this could cause a kerfuffle and a half for me.
Okay. Do you share this? I don't know if it's a shared screen or not.
Just should be sharing right now. So essentially what this is, it's just a contract analyzer.
Yeah.
I figured for people getting gig work or short-term contracts, they could throw it in here and at least understand what they're signing for. Basically, landing page. And this is just a prototype. Like nothing. I'm not even sure if it works.
Is that N8N? No, it wasn't.
It might be in the background.
So I don't even have them.
Oh, yeah. So it doesn't even work. So
okay, it's fine.
But it basically, what would I be looking at in terms of legal problems if I was to just release this app?
It wouldn't have legal problems, but in that I would add a disclaimer. I just said, you are not providing legal advice or you're just providing, legal information, but not legal advice. And also just say that the person should seek legal counsel once they have the document. That's it. Because I do think that people kind of need this thing because there's so many contracts out there and not a lot of them have the money to pay for an attorney to review. But they've got to realize that AI is not perfect in any means. And so they are kind of taking a chance by relying solely on the AI. They should get an idea and then, understand that there's a disclaimer and then find a real attorney if they want to move forward to make sure that what the AI has deduced is valid.
I just put this together out of like thought out of my head because it's completely understandable for all the knowledge and learning just to be able to like quickly reference something would be nice just for the right I think.
Yeah, I think as long as they are aware that AI can make mistakes, it's not going to get it right all the time. Might not even understand the context, so they got to be careful. But I do think that it's a fundamental, like let's just say ChatGPT is already doing this to some degree. So what are we going to say that ChatGPT is violating something by analyzing your document as you upload? No, you can't. So it's not. It's as long as there's a disclaimer and they understand what it's all about and what the limitations are, then yeah, there's nothing wrong with it doing it. The attorney is not out of a job that wasn't going to come to him anyway, or her. So
I'm just what legal repercussions I would have for selling this or putting this out on the public. And he kind of bit my head off about it. But I do see this as a needed tool just to help the regular Joe who gets screwed over here. But yeah, it's nice to know that it's not something I have to worry about as much.
Yeah, and he would be, going up against OpenAI, which has agents on the platform that focus on legal analysis. Like he would be dwarfed by so many other platforms that are doing something similar. So
I think it's just more of the fear of this is coming, and he's afraid it's going to take his job.
No, see, this is the thing that people don't really get about these type of positions, like legal, accounting, maybe even real estate to some degree. When you're licensed to do something, the reason you are licensed is because you're taking on responsibility. If something happens, you're the one that should address the issue, but you are also vulnerable to claims against you because of the decisions you make, because they affect so many people. Doctors, the list is long. AI cannot play that role, meaning you cannot sue an AI for making a decision or providing advice that goes against your interests. It might hurt you down the road. That's why they can never give it to an AI. It will take quite a while to get to that point where the AI would be responsible monetarily for damages caused. And it won't happen for these reasons.
I actually think you just made a good point. I think we're going to have a lot more positions that are require training and licensing in order for you to be qualified for it. I see that in like journalism at the very least, and certain other fields. It might be best for humanity to be able to differentiate between a licensed person handling AI. As opposed to just a layman. And then you add credibility.
Yeah, I think certain jobs, I think a lot of people are afraid. What is the AI is coming for us? Too many movies. The reality is, I think this time I see it more beneficial than a detriment, just in general. Yes, people will do the deep fakes and call you and pretend that they're your grandmother. But generally, I think that if people are aware that it's coming and understanding that you should be looking for a certain type of degree now that wasn't so valuable before, and one of them is actually an English degree or a language degree in whatever language you're speaking. That's important because understanding how to say something is so critical with AI. It really takes what you're saying logically to some degree and applies it. So yeah, if you don't understand the logic and how things are presented or should be, then your prompt is going to be pretty crap. Prompt engineering is going to be key. And it
brings up another thing that I thought of. I'm really human conversations. I didn't realize how much context I was adding until I started talking to the AI.
People, we take so many things for granted that when you speak to the AI, you realize how many things you take for granted when you're communicating. And yeah, I had to talk to one of my colleagues who was communicating with Elsa. And I was like, she doesn't know certain things. You do have to add context so that she understands what you're talking about.
It really does come down to context. It really shows how much context I normally do.
Yeah, I'm pretty, thing is I was a nerd in that field, so I think I already gave too much context. Whereas my friends were giving very little.
We're the type of people that everybody just says, shut up.
Shut up.
yeah, it was. I'm very like, I want everything to be clear, and so I will, take my time to. But other people will like use two words, and you're supposed to like understand from those two words what the whole thing is in the context. And I was never really good at that. But some people are very good. They have intuition.
Yes.
They can tell what that. So that's why I was perfect for AI in that it likes context. I love presenting it. That's why we work. Those people who not so big on that, maybe this is not the field for you because AI is not very happy with it. Doesn't get enough.
But the people who
the people who
do give the context are building it.
Yes. So there's a career for the thing is people think AI is taking it's not. Like, AI is creating so many different career paths right now. It's amazing the amount of music, the amount of apps, the amount of pages, websites, all these things that you can make with AI right now. I mean, it's sky's the limit.
Yeah.
Just
to call out my own product right here. If anybody wants a website, I can get you one in a day.
Yes, that's the big thing right now is AI just whipping up a website in a day, exactly the way you want. I mean, or an app, just an actual app on your iPhone. In the back of the day when I had to, it was expensive. It took a long time.
Yeah.
Very long time. Months at least to get one. And I did. I put one on the App Store. So just to go through the whole process. But now I can get in then for the actual app to be ready to go. I was like, wow, this is clearly going to change things.
I'm glad we're not don't have to worry about it.
Well, it's still gray. Because yes, it will get a little more clear as we go along, but it will take a while, because there's so many avenues that it's going into. Go crazy.
I am out of questions.
There's so much going on right now. I mean, in the future, obviously, this podcast is limited. That we're victims of our own present. There's poaching going on between big companies taking AI execs, paying them top, like the most amount of money I've ever seen thrown at an AI, at anyone. I mean, we're talking like as if you were a basketball star, on the Lakers. You're getting that sort of money, even more than that, some of them, it seems. So this is truly, they're seeing the amount of money that this thing is likely going to make them, and people obviously using it. And I think that's a discussion to be had, in that what's going to happen with AI, who is going to be coming out on top, maybe even the topic of what people should be doing now, sort of to get ready for what's coming. There's so many topics, I guess, to go into. I even like it's not like I only have one app. I actually have a second app. That's so easy. It's so easy now, like making apps. So I made a second one with my son because they had an AI app that would talk for kids, specifically for kids, which is what I wanted. So he could start using it. But they were charging, at first it was free, and then they went up to $29 per month. $29 per month for this app. And I was like, I think we can make this app. Obviously, I took out Cursor. It was the second app, so we're a little faster than the first one. And I think it was a day, literally, and we got it up. And it's the same app that they had, but where it's free. Anyone can use it. Yeah. And I could make money off it. This could be sitting on the App Store, making money for me like that. Another topic is just smaller, what they call mini LLMs, like where you can, like the idea now is to get the LLM on your phone, right? And what they're doing is quantizing it down so that it can actually respond to your questions. It's not slow down your phone, but respond in a way that is showing that it's an effective AI, something that you can actually use. I think that's going to be the next thing, really quantizing it, making it small enough that you can use it on almost anything.
I was saying it might need to sink down to glasses, because I lose this thing all the time.
Yes. Glasses, that would be incredible. Yeah. I think,
it would also help me organize things.
I truly think the sky's the limit. This industry is blowing up.
I always
if
say
anybody
if
wants to
anybody wants
start
to
in this
start in this
industry,
industry,
especially if they don't have tech,
especially if
move
they
out to
don't
the
have
small
tech,
rural areas because you
move
can
out to the
still
small rural
build
areas because you can
what
still
the
build
bigger areas
what
already
the
have,
bigger
but
areas
to a
already
smaller
have,
market.
but to a smaller market.
Yeah.
So the last
Give you
few
the
minutes
last few minutes to
plug
plug
yourself or
yourself
anything you'd
or
like
anything
to
you'd like to
bring up.
bring up.
Well, yeah, I guess if anyone's interested in Braun AI attorneys out there, or we're hoping to actually open it up to normal everyday people. We don't want it to be only for attorneys, but braun-ai.com for attorneys that want to try it out, and they can email me info@braun-ai.com if they have any questions or any attorneys or otherwise. And yeah, thank you for having me on. I had a great time, and hopefully come back more.
Thank you very much, and have a good day.
Have a good day.
Stay weird. Oh, thank you for joining me. Don was amazing. I can't believe how incredibly, I don't know how to put this. I mean, he's incredibly smart. And just to be able to achieve the level of legal notoriety and to be able to build his own legal research AI is just astounding. And it was nice to also get to showcase my application, my legal application that I thought I was going to get killed for. But yeah. So I hope this informed you. And if you need any more details, I'll make sure everything's in the description below. Don Simmons, make sure you reach out to him or me. And yeah, comment, like, subscribe. That's great for the channel. And thank you very much for being here. Stay weird.